When I very first met him, I thought, well, this guy's ain't gonna be around for a long time. I don't know what made me think that.
Hello everyone. The world of rock has seen many legends, but none quite like Randy Rhoads, a quiet genius who fused classical mastery with heavy metal fire. He didn't just play guitar, he rewrote the rules. He saved Ozzy Osbourne's career, inspired a generation, and at just 25, was on the verge of something even greater. But on March 19th, 1982, it all ended in flames. Was it a tragic accident or something far more sinister? Stay tuned because the Randy Rhoads mystery may finally be solved. Randy Rhoads was born on December 6, 1956, in Santa Monica, California, into a family where music wasn't just a pastime, it was life itself. His mother, Dolores Rhoads, founded the Musonia School of Music in North Hollywood back in 1949, nurturing countless young players. Their home wasn't wealthy. In fact, the family didn't even own a record player or a television for years. But that didn't matter. Music filled their lives. At just 5 years old, Randy stumbled across his grandfather's dusty 1918 Gibson Army-Navy guitar in a closet. That accidental discovery lit the fuse of destiny. Within months, his mother began giving him basic lessons. By the time he was 7, his natural gift for the instrument was undeniable. He devoured chords, scales, and melodies with a hunger far beyond his years. As he grew older, his thirst for the guitar only deepened. He studied under teacher Scott Shelley, but within 9 months, Randy had already surpassed him. His teacher even admitted that Randy was now teaching him. At just 16, while most teenagers wondered about their futures, Randy had already decided his life would be music. He graduated early, pouring himself into practice, performance, and teaching guitar at Musonia. His students remembered him as patient and kind, never belittling, always encouraging. His mother often said she had never seen anyone love the guitar so purely. By his teenage years, Randy began experimenting with local bands. His true breakthrough came when he and bassist Kelly Garney formed a group that eventually evolved into Quiet Riot, with the addition of vocalist Kevin Dubrow and drummer Drew Forsyth. The band quickly dominated the Los Angeles club scene in the late 1970s. Fans weren't just coming for the music, they were coming for Randy. His custom polka dot flying V guitar, his bow ties, and his vests became iconic. Fans imitated his style and even showed up to concerts dressed like him. But when Randy played, jaws dropped. He wasn't just fast, he was inventive. He blended classical precision with the raw power of heavy metal, something no one else was doing at the time. This sparked one of rock's greatest debates, Randy Rhoads versus Eddie Van Halen. Eddie dazzled audiences with explosive two-handed tapping and showmanship, while Randy built cathedrals of sound, structured, haunting, and precise. Fireworks versus architecture. Even today, fans still argue who was greater. But the truth is that both were revolutionaries, and Randy was only just beginning his journey. By 1979, fate intervened. Ozzy Osbourne, recently fired from Black Sabbath and drowning in addiction, was spiraling toward oblivion. His manager and future wife, Sharon Arden, believed he could still be saved, but he needed the right guitarist. That's when bassist Dana Strum recommended Randy. At first, Randy didn't even know who Ozzy was. Reluctantly, and at his mother's urging, he agreed to audition. Ozzy later recalled being drunk out of his mind when a small, quiet figure walked in with a Les Paul and a practice amp. As soon as Randy began warming up, Ozzy thought he was hallucinating. The notes were too clean, too alive. Within minutes, Ozzy gave him the job. Randy was stunned, he hadn't even truly auditioned. But fate had spoken. Together, Ozzy Osbourne and Randy Rhoads created two of the most iconic metal albums ever. Blizzard of Oz in 1980 and Diary of a Madman in 1981. Songs like Crazy Train, Mr. Crowley, and Flying High Again weren't just hits, they became anthems of a generation. Randy's blend of classical finesse and metal fury redefined the genre. Critics hailed him as a genius. Fans crowned him a hero. On stage, he was electrifying but humble. Unlike many guitarists who hogged the spotlight, Randy played for the song. Sharon Osbourne later said Randy gave Ozzy a reason to live again. Randy wasn't just a guitarist. He was a stabilizing force, a younger brother figure, and the reason Ozzy's career roared back to life. Yet despite the fame, Randy wasn't seduced by the rock star lifestyle. He still lived with his mother when not touring, practiced relentlessly, and spoke often of a different dream: returning to school to earn a master's degree in classical music at UCLA. His mother had even begun making arrangements for him. Ozzy thought he was crazy. "You could buy your own university," he told him. But Randy wasn't chasing fortune or fame. He was chasing art. In a haunting twist, just days before his death, Randy quietly warned Ozzy, "You'll kill yourself one of these days if you don't stop drinking." Randy wasn't interested in the chaos of the rock lifestyle. He cared more about the music and the people around him. The night of March 18, 1982, the band performed in Knoxville, Tennessee. Exhausted, they loaded onto the tour bus and drove through the night toward Orlando, Florida. In the early hours of March 19th, the bus's air conditioning broke down, forcing an unscheduled stop at Flying Baron Estates in Leesburg, Florida, a community where residents parked planes in backyard hangars. While most of the crew slept, bus driver Andrew Akick, who also had a pilot's license, decided to take a plane for a joyride. His medical certificate had expired. Witnesses said he had been using cocaine all night. Worse, he had already been involved in a fatal crash 6 years earlier in the United Arab Emirates. Around 9 a.m., Akick took a Beechcraft Bonanza F-35 up with tour manager Jake Duncan and keyboardist Don Airy, buzzing the bus to wake the crew. They landed safely, but Akick wanted another flight. This time, he invited Randy and seamstress Rachel Youngblood, who was 58 and suffered from a heart condition. Randy hated flying, but agreed so he could take aerial photos for his mother. Akick promised a calm, easy ride. At 10 a.m., the plane lifted off. Don Airy stood outside, camera in hand. Almost immediately, he sensed something was wrong. The plane wobbled, swayed, and through his telephoto lens, he saw what looked like a struggle inside the cockpit. On the third pass over the bus, disaster struck. The left wing clipped the roof of Ozzy Osbourne's tour bus. The plane spiraled out of control, slammed into a pine tree, then nosedived into a nearby garage. The explosion was instant. Flames roared. Black smoke filled the sky. Inside the bus, Ozzy, Sharon, and bassist Rudy Sarzo woke to chaos. Their tour manager screamed, "They're gone. They're all gone." Randy Rhoads was just 25 years old. The official NTSB report called it poor judgment, a reckless stunt, gone wrong. But eyewitness accounts and later theories paint a murkier story. Some insist there was a cockpit struggle. Don Airy swore he saw chaos inside, the wings tipping erratically, almost vertical. Former Ozzy bassist Bob Daisley suggested Rachel may have suffered a heart attack mid-flight. In a dual-control plane, her sudden collapse could have pressed the controls, sending the aircraft into a deadly spin. The autopsy confirmed she did suffer a heart attack before impact. Others point to Akick's recklessness. Cocaine was found in his system, and with his past crash and expired license, many believe he was dangerously impaired. Still darker are the rumors that his ex-wife was near the bus that morning, suggesting the flyovers were meant to scare her, a twisted act of revenge disguised as a stunt. And then there is Rudy Sarzo's belief he had been invited on that flight but chose to rest. That decision saved his life. But he insists Randy made a final, heroic act, pulling the plane just enough to miss the bus directly. In the aftermath, Ozzy spiraled deeper into despair, drowning grief in drugs and alcohol. Sharon Osbourne kept the band moving forward with sheer determination. The crew carried unbearable survivor's guilt. Randy's family, students, and fans were devastated. Yet even in death, Randy's influence didn't fade. His unfinished Jackson signature guitar became legendary. His solos on Crazy Train, Mr. Crowley, and Flying High Again are still studied by generations. In 2021, he was posthumously inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, finally cementing his place among the greatest musicians in history. The tragedy leaves us haunted not just by what we lost, but by what we never got to hear: the symphonies, unwritten, the students untaught, the albums unrecorded, star lost to excess. He was a rare genius chasing music itself. So what really happened that morning? Was it reckless fun, a tragic accident, or something darker? We may never know. But one thing is certain: Randy Rhoads didn't belong on that plane. His brilliance, mystery, and legacy will never fade. If this story moved you, honor his memory like this video. Share it with fellow fans, and subscribe for more untold stories of rock's greatest legends. Thanks for watching.